The progress that we created for ourselves is enough to keep us pushing. Because it's not gonna be a lot like we expected. The progress is us learning a skill, learning how to focus, learning how to let go of 10 things versus one, and just really understand this one. See, the one is, there's a lot of information. Making videos has a lot to do. There's a lot to go in making videos. But if I didn't put the time, the effort, the energy, the daily consistency, the daily action, the daily effort to understand this, I wouldn't be where I am today. That's the same thing that I had to understand, that I had to identify the progress. I'm not as good as I want to be, yet I'm better than I was when I started. That's the whole purpose of being better than we was yesterday, because yesterday is no longer here. How can we focus on our future? How can we focus on the present? We have to start doing today. Denzel Washington is the prime example of why doing it today pays off. Doing it today pays off because when you focus on one thing, when you focus on your craft, when you focus on your skill, when you focus on everything that you're doing, you have to understand that it's going to pay off in the long run. It's going to pay off in the lifetime. It's going to pay off when you least expect it, because progress gets built over time. It multiplies. It multiplies. Imagine you do one thing for 365 days. And imagine how great you're going to be next year, because you focus on one thing 365 days ago. That's the whole point of it, because if you continue to do that, you only get better. You only improve. You only grow because you're doing it daily. Us doing it daily is us identifying what we are doing for ourselves. When we understand there's a process behind everything, we're progressing because we understand how to self-reflect for ourselves. That's why identifying your progress will give you the leeway not to compare yourself to the next person, because you're comparing yourself to yourself from yesterday. We have to focus on getting better than we was yesterday. That's why the jealousy is not in my life no more, because I learned how to focus on myself. I had to learn how to identify my progress, because my progress was something that I was working for every single day, that I was working towards every single day. And every single day I constantly put in effort for myself, because I want to get better. I want to learn things that I haven't discovered before. I want to understand the way the word is supposed to come out, how to be a better communicator, because not only am I a communicator on camera, I'm a communicator off of camera as well. And that's why I had to begin to understand. I'm like, oh, okay. When I focus on speaking and making content and recording videos, it made me a better communicator outside of this when I start speaking to other people, when I start speaking to strangers, when I start speaking to people that I never met before, because I was able to identify the progress that's been progressing for the last 3 years. But see, that's the thing. You have to start to see and identify what you are doing for yourself. And you only can see what you're doing for yourself if you're focusing on one thing. That's why it's so important to understand that we don't need to confuse movement with progress, because progress is identifying the movement. And once it's identified the movement, we focus on the progress. And this means we can't be moving in one place. We can't. Our mind and our focus can be all over the place, because it's not focusing on one thing. That's why I understood when I identify my focus, I'm learning how to recognize how far I came. Why is this important? Because when you focus on one thing, you can only get better. You can only get better because better comes from effort. Effort comes from you doing it daily. And once you do it daily, that's when you are comfortable enough to continue to perfect your craft. Practice makes perfect, yet perfection gets practiced every single day. That's why it's so important to recognize that we shouldn't be confusing movement with progress, because we should understand the two. And we're working towards progress because we're doing it every single day. We're focused on one thing, and our focus is getting better over time. That's why I understood when Denzel said, "Don't confuse movement with progress." Look how long he's been acting. Look how long he has been acting, because his resume, his career, his status, his impact, his influence all over the world speaks for itself. It didn't happen by accident. It happened when he put the work in for himself. It happened when he took that step and believed in everything, and rather than focusing on everything, he focuses on that one to be the person that he is today. Because he understood progress comes over time. You only get better when you perfect one skill, and you only perfect one skill by constantly improving it. That's when I began to understand that when you identify your progress, you have to be willing to celebrate your progress. That's the last point I want to hit on. Celebrate your progress. And before